First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Welcome to WUFT News First at 5. I'm Kennedy Mason.
And I'm Julianna Reichenbach. Thanks for joining us. It's been 60 years since a pivotal year in the civil rights movement, 1963. A group of student journalists from the University of Florida and Florida A&M University wanted to travel the path that heroes and ordinary people of the movement paved.
Yes, the group made stops in some of the most notable cities, including Atlanta, Birmingham, and Montgomery. They even traveled to the Mississippi Delta to recall the moments of triumph and tragedy that led from 1963 to present day.
We are now joined by a member of UF-FAMU 1963, Taylor Meyer. Taylor, you capture people who traveled over international waters just to experience the trail, right?
I did, and it was an experience I'm forever grateful for as a journalist. Throughout our journey on the UF-FAMU 1963 Civil Rights Trail, we had the privilege of speaking with people of different backgrounds, origins, and perspectives. We even visited the Emmett Till Intrepid Center, where we met a student from Marquette University and listened to her perspective on the movement that changed the foundation of history.
Have the knowledge to understand the civil rights movement and all that happened in Black history and why we have the rights we have today. My name is Abigail Rose. I'm a sophomore at Marquette, and that's in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Rose was on a trip with her school to get this dose of history.
I grew up in Jamaica. A lot of the stuff I know about history and Black history in specific comes from movies. I'm not African American, I'm just Caribbean. Black is acceptable to me, but hearing African American, it triggers me because people are dismissing my heritage.
She still acknowledged how all African descendants have something to learn from one another.
Jamaica was enslaved till 1962, so we all have that complex an understanding of slavery, especially in Black lives, but I do think it's completely different here versus what I learned about in my country.
While at the Martin Luther King Jr. National Historical Park, we encountered 3 social entrepreneurs from the African diaspora who came to the U.S. to contrast their global understanding of civil rights.
I'm Fede Silvers, I'm from the Netherlands.
My name is Bella Mondai-Keze, I am from Australia.
My name is Rashana Trim, and I am from Barbados.
The ladies wanted to shed light into the difference in conversations that occur on American soil versus across the world.
Whereas it's very normal for people in America to talk about the civil rights movement, slavery, colonialism, places like this, we people in Europe are by law not allowed to self-identify as Black people. We're also by law not allowed to identify as people of African descent.
While the women all came to America to learn about the history of race relations, we left learning about how American civil rights has an intrinsic effect on civil rights globally. That was just one of the interesting nuggets in the larger picture of our reporting. If you want to see some of the other moments we captured on the trail, please follow our hashtag UFXFAMU1963, and we also want you to be on the lookout for our future reporting projects pertaining to this subject, released on WUFT.org in the coming weeks. That's all I have for now. Thank you.
That's very powerful. Thank you, Taylor. And Kennedy, I'm surprised we had a bit of a break from those hot temperatures we've had lately.
I know. I was a little shocked when I walked out and it was kind of cold. WFT's Shawn Humphrey joins us now with the weather forecast. Shawn, what's the sudden cool down about?
Right now,
what do you want us to do?
Degrees here. Gainesville, mid to high 70s, low 80s across the board. And if you take
Stop.
Weather, the final frontier. So should I'm gonna start over.
Hey, give them a few seconds of pad and then go.
Okay. 3, 2. Well, if you thought that was something, just wait till you get a look at the temperatures for tomorrow morning. You might be feeling a little bit more chilly, a lot more chilly than you felt walking out of your door this morning, but the 24-hour temperature changes across the board. Nothing too drastic, but a drop of 3 degrees over the last 24 hours here in Gainesville. And the temperatures right now, mid to high 70s, low 80s across the board here in north central Florida, 79 degrees in Gainesville, and down I-75 in Ocala, 80 degrees. And if you take a look here at the live cam, you'll see those temperatures in action, nice and clear, good weather for stargazing. But back to you.
Thank you, Shawn. Police officers in Columbia County are on the lookout for a man who robbed a hotel yesterday afternoon. Here is a screenshot from surveillance video that shows the suspect. Lake City police officials say he came to the front desk of a Days Inn asking about a room. He pulled out a legal pad with a note written on it for the clerk. It said he had a gun and he needed her to quietly give him money from the cash drawer. The clerk complied and the man drove a gray Toyota RAV4 north on U.S. Highway 441. Anyone who knows anything about this case should call the Lake City Police Department.
Gainesville police officers are investigating a case of grand theft auto, but the car involved might not be what you're expecting. GPD officers say 54-year-old William Stewart stole a white Cadillac hearse from the Chestnut Funeral Home yesterday afternoon. Then he crashed it near Littlewood Elementary at the intersection of Northwest 8th Avenue and 34th Street. This is the video from GPD's social media showing the damaged car with taillights flashing. Several other vehicles were affected by the crash, but no one was hurt. GPD officials say the back of the hearse was empty.
Wow, what a crazy story, Julianna.
Yeah, Kennedy, and kind of odd to target a funeral home.
Yeah, it definitely is, but glad everyone is okay for sure. Now, speaking of spooky, a group of UF students is putting on a show to give visitors a taste of Halloween. WUFT's Avery Lotz explored a haunted house 2 years in the making on Saturday. Let's see if she made it out alive.
Welcome everyone to the Crimson Carnival. It may look like a regular big top, but I think there might be something sinister lurking behind these corners in the darkness. Come on in, let's check it out.
I want to play with you. For 3 nights, screams rang out across Pony Field. But before the scares began, actors had to don their fangs and makeup, practice their most maniacal cackles, and rehearse. The guests, or the vampires' appetizers, came in crowds, with 227 voices shrieking, including mine.
I think it's when it comes to themed entertainment experiences, horror is one of the best ways to immerse you and fully get you in, because you instantly have that emotional attachment to, like, you're in this story, you're actually potentially in danger, even though obviously you're not.
Around 500 spook seekers explored the Bloodsucker's lair to celebrate halfway to the Halloween season. It's a 2-year passion project from Swamp Haunters, a subgroup of Gator Theme Park engineering and design. The team of around 30 students built the Springtime Scare, complete with 7 rooms and multiple animatronics, in their apartments.
We have done so much when it comes to designing it, constructing it. We've done it at Josiah's apartment, and then building it on site on US campus is absolutely incredible.
Some guests, who weren't as wimpy as I was, found humor among the twisting corridors.
It was surprisingly funny. I thought it was just going to be scary, but they also had like a humor element to it, which I really appreciated.
The humor is intended.
We know that we won't scare everyone. There are people on a team we can't scare. We want to make sure that they get something out of it.
The students involved in the project came from a variety of backgrounds, but they share a passion for themed entertainment. Guests picked up on that passion, with some ranking it alongside the biggest horror event in the state.
Did you guys get scared?
Yes.
Yeah, it was really close to Halloween Horror Nights, I'd say.
The big top is open and the guests are filing in, but who knows if they'll ever leave.
Reporting live, Avery Lotz.
WUFT News.
Thank you, Avery. That was very cool.
Yes, very cool. And also, one of our WUFT forecasters, Julia Haley's brother, was involved. So that's very, very cool.
Very exciting. And Nicki Minaj says starships are meant to fly, but apparently not this one.
Yes, SpaceX had to cancel plans today to launch the most powerful rocket ever made. Coming up on WUFT News First at 5, you'll hear what issues were at play that kept the spacecraft on the ground.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
4 people are dead and 28 others are hurt after a shooting at a birthday party in Alabama this weekend. Shots were fired Saturday night at a dance studio during a Sweet 16 party. 4 teens were killed just weeks before graduation. One of the victims, Phil Stavius Dowdle, was a high school football player with a scholarship to play in college. His friends remember him with love and admiration.
He was just a great person. He always lit up the room when he came in. He had a great personality. He was smart in the classroom. He loved to play sports, and he just loved people.
As the investigation continues, police officials say there is no ongoing threat, but they haven't announced any arrest or talked about a suspect at all.
Today's scheduled SpaceX Starship rocket launch in Texas was scrubbed this morning because of a technical difficulty. This is the biggest and most powerful rocket ever constructed. The SpaceX team performed a wet dress rehearsal, stopping the countdown clock with 10 seconds left. Engineers could not troubleshoot a pressurization issue. It is not clear whether the company will try again, but they do have a launch window reserved for tomorrow at 7 a.m. Central Time. It was SpaceX's first attempt to launch its Starship rocket after years of testing it.
It's too bad the rocket couldn't be launched today.
Yes, it definitely is, but instead of watching a rocket on your computer, it's kind of the perfect day to get outside.
Exactly. WFT's Shawn Humphrey joins us now with the weather report. How's it looking out there?
Oh, we were running April?
You're watching WUFT TV News.
As we progress into the week, those temperatures will start warming up. As we get into tonight, it's going to be a bit cooler, but that high pressure ridge that you see over this part of the eastern United States is what we're going to see warming our temperatures up here in north central Florida and in the rest of the southeastern United States as the week goes on. You can see a closer look at that, even though you can't see the big H on your screen right there. This is high pressure. That ridge warming up by late week around the southeastern United States, including the peninsula and all the counties here in the state of Florida. But as we move forward, it will be once again warming up throughout the rest of the week. Starting tomorrow, Tuesday's high temperatures pushing into the 80s in parts of north central Florida, Jacksonville down to St. Augustine in the low to high 70s, but 80s across the board for many other parts of north central Florida. And if we look at the Wednesday high temperatures, even higher, 85 degrees in Gainesville. The outlier over here is 80 degrees in Cedar Key, possibly because of that sea breeze, but 86, 85, low to mid 80s across the board here in north central Florida. Those are your high temperatures. A live look at the University of Florida's campus will show you 79 degree temperatures out over the swamp. Winds moving north-northwest at 8 miles per hour. That's that cool temperatures, and you'll see as we get into the night, it's going to keep getting cooler and cooler and cooler. Your hour by hour forecast will show you 53 degrees, and that's not even as low as it's going to get going into the night. Temperatures are going to dip into the 40s. It's going to be a chilly start to tomorrow morning. Like I said, 40 degree temperatures, not 40 degree, but 40s degree temperature. 47 degrees here in Gainesville and around Alachua County, mid to high 40s, up to 50 in Keystone Heights. The forecasted temperatures for the night tonight, if you go south down I-75 to Marion County, much of the same, 43 degrees in Williston. Brr. You might need a jacket if you step outside early in the morning tomorrow, or if you want to avoid it, just sleep in a little bit longer. It will warm up the rest of the day. And as you can see, 51 degrees as you get into 8 a.m. That sun starts coming out, and it starts feeling a little bit better as you get into the latter parts of the day. So the week ahead, warming trend begins tomorrow, and it gets warmer and warmer. And the next chance for rain is a slight chance this upcoming weekend. Your 6-day outlook will show you that slight chance of rain on Saturday and Sunday. Those temperatures pushing into the high 80s. Back to you.
Thanks, Shawn. UF students hosted a golf tournament to support Grace Grows.
Yes, this nonprofit supplies fresh fruits and vegetables to Grace Marketplace. I got the opportunity to go out on the green this weekend for the event.
The Turkey Creek golf course was filled with golf balls,
golf clubs, golfers, and golf carts on Friday. Golfers got in their golf carts this weekend and headed out to try to get the best score possible, and this was for a great cause. Students in the Department of Agriculture, Education, and Communications course, Communication and Leadership in Groups and Teams, led the event.
We wanted to really take a theory to practice approach, so learning all that we do in class and applying it to real life, real world situations.
University of Florida class member Alondra Arce was on the event management team.
So we coordinated signups, volunteering, we were the liaison between the class and the golf course.
3 months of creating a golf tournament at Turkey Creek benefiting Grace Grows.
Being able to also do something for a great cause.
The nonprofit provides a community garden for people experiencing food insecurity and homelessness to enjoy nutritious food. The class in Grace Grows made sure they were the right fit.
It was clear that there was a lot of backing, a lot of strategy, a lot of will and organization behind this.
The class recruited 6 teams of 4. Mallory and Victoria on the Gator Care team did it for the fun and for the cause.
To bring more awareness to food insecurity, because a lot of people I feel like are not really aware of it because they don't see it.
Between sponsors and the $240 paid by each team, the total amount donated to Grace Grows, $2,300.
The amount of labor and thoughtfulness that has gone into this has really made it a success.
It's so cool that the students organized all that to help Grace Grows.
Yes, it was such a great day and everyone had such a good time. Trinity Thomas and the UF gymnastics team competed in Fort Worth this weekend.
But competing against the very best is not easy.
Not at all, but I'll tell you how they fared in the national championship after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Number 3, Florida Gators baseball continued its tear by winning its 9th straight series this weekend. Florida waxed the rival Georgia Bulldogs 11-6 in Sunday's rubber match. The red-hot orange and blue are now 30-7 this season. This one wasn't without controversy. Gators reliever Brandon Neely was pumped after a crucial strikeout to end the 7th. The umpire would promptly end his afternoon. He tells him hit the road. The fans aren't happy, neither is Jack Caglione. Grand salami, his 2nd home run of the game. No celebration, sticking it to the man. Gags. 21 homers this season. Neely suspended 4 games after the ejection. Florida is expected to appeal. The Gators will host FAMU on Tuesday. Gators gymnastics had a chance to avenge its loss to defending national champion Oklahoma and win its first title since 2015. Unfortunately, Florida would end its season the national runner-up for a 2nd consecutive year. But a bittersweet night for Trinity Thomas and the orange and blue still ended in historic fashion for the super senior. Thomas competed in just 2 events after injuring her leg during the NCAA regionals. But her vault performance was flawless. With her 28th perfect score, Thomas tied the all-time record for perfect 10s. It was far from the ending she had imagined, but Thomas remained grateful for her experience and her team.
This isn't how I wanted things to go, but sometimes things don't go your way, and that's okay. And luckily, I have the best support system, family, friends, teammates, coaches that have really helped me. So just fighting through it, regardless of my personal goals, for them, because at the end of the day, it's more than gymnastics.
Florida finished just 1/10 of a point behind the Sooners. Gators lacrosse has been on fire as of late. The team hadn't lost in nearly a month before this Saturday's tilt with East Carolina, and they made those Pirates walk the plank. Florida scored early and often against ECU. Emma Lopinto finished with a hat trick, 10-5 Florida. The Gators have won 6 in a row. Number 15, Gator softball dropped its series finale to the rival Georgia Bulldogs. The team still picked up the series win to push its record to 31-11. The Gators just above 500 in SEC play. They'll play a doubleheader against USF on Wednesday. Florida men's basketball's head coach Todd Golden has been active in the transfer portal. This weekend, the Gators added former Seton Hall big Tyrese Samuel. The Montreal native joins the team as a graduate transfer. He averaged 11 points for the Pirates last season and started in all 33 games. Florida has added plenty of height to the 2023-24 team, the Gainesville Giants. 6 players standing taller than 6'8" have joined the roster. With forward Alex Fudge officially declaring for the draft today, there will be no shortage of size to replace him.
Thanks, Shawn. Today at the 127th Boston Marathon, one couple celebrated their love in a very unique way. A one-of-a-kind couple dressed up as unicorns and renewed their vows near the finish line. The mythical creature is the symbol of the Boston Athletic Association. Tim Sir and his wife Sherry Rose traveled from Virginia to have their moment at the marathon. They originally wanted to get married there in 2020, but COVID canceled that plan. They had their vow renewal this weekend, just before Tim ran his 3rd Boston Marathon. Now, before we go, one last check on the weather.
Hey, guess what? I'm back. You haven't gotten rid of me quite just yet, but you only got a few more seconds left in the show. Tonight, it's going to be clear and chilly. Those temperatures will be dipping down low heading into the night. Overnight lows around 48 degrees here in Gainesville and around north central Florida. Temperatures will be in the 40s across much of the area, but as we get into the early parts of the morning, those temperatures will start rising. And in the latter parts of the week, those temperatures will also start rising. Slight chance of rain this weekend. Hot weather is coming back late in the week, but back to the desk today.
Thanks, Shawn. BBC World News is next, and the PBS News Hour is coming up at 7.
But your Florida news is always on at WFT.org. Have a good night.